You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keon. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show.
All right. We're having a good time here, aren't we? Yeah. Well, we all know, you guys, that Bing is for doing, and we are doing the after show for Season 9, Episode 8 of So You Think You Can Dance. I'm Kristyn Burtt. I'm sitting in the hot seat tonight for AJ Gibson. He'll be back next week. But we have so much to talk about. And joining me here tonight, we do have Corrine Williams coming on back.
What it do, boo?
And we have a very special guest from Season 7, Top 7. There we go.
Yeah.
We have
7.
Ashley Galvan giving us the inside scoop.
Ow. Nice.
Well, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We are
Our
so
pleasure.
excited because we like to know that inside scoop that we don't know as a contestant.
Exactly.
So
Oh, yeah, I have it all.
we expect all that gossip. Oh, I expect it. I expect it.
The juice.
All right, but let's get right to it because we've got 10 dances to go through. We had a group dance. We have Step Up Revolution to talk about.
Lord have mercy.
Let's start right off with that amazing group number.
Oh, yes.
Loved it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, this was, we knew, right? You guessed right away. I said, do you know who choreographed it? And you said, yeah.
Nappy tabs.
Nappy
Yeah.
Tabs.
She and her boyfriend.
Yep.
Ow. They called it.
Yep, they sure did. Yeah, we do have
Tabs.
Jared,
Jared,
Ashton's
what up?
boyfriend, joining us here in the studio.
Puma hat.
Puma hat.
So let's get right to it, though. Let's talk about that opening number. What
Yes.
were your thoughts on it?
Oh, my gosh. It was the most amazing, group dance I have ever seen. The concept and the fact that, they had Cyrus as, that, middle guy that just
Yeah.
kind of, was, I don't know, just, everything that the dance was, set around was, set around him. And, the dancers were just amazing. It fit their ability. It fit everything that they were capable of doing. And it was just very entertaining. Plus, the music was, very, hardcore.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
And I love that the men were in unitards. Usually it's the ladies that get stuck in a unitard.
Sequined unitard. I have sequined unitard.
Very 80s and kind of a little
It was
bit
like
of a...
Prince.
Yeah. I thought a little throwback actually to Thriller, some of the choreography and the makeup and stuff like that. Not
Yeah.
a replica, but, a little bit of honor to MJ right there.
Yeah.
I liked the dance, but my only thing with Cyrus is they keep putting him in as a prop. I'm like, oh, he's never really gonna shine as a dancer. He's just a prop.
He's a
I think he's shine tonight, though.
He's a shaker. That's right. Shake and bake.
taken back.
All right. Our judges in the house tonight, we had, of course, Mary and Nigel, who were permanently there, but the
Mary.
rotating judge tonight was Adam Shankman.
Love Adam.
And I like to call it is the perfect product placement night because he is the producer on Step Up Revolution, which they are promoting. So that will be coming out this weekend.
And he had shameless plugs after each dance.
Step
Everything he
Step
said.
up.
He was like, you look great, but in Step Up, you can look better. I was like, all right.
We know what's happening. All right, we're going to get right into the first dance, choreographed by Christopher Scott, and it was Cole and Lindsay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I thought this was, kind of interesting. It was very campy, I thought.
Yeah.
It's very, just like that for me.
Yeah, it's just sort of one
It's
note.
just very,
just a
it was,
I said it was a strip tease.
yeah.
You
And
know.
she could have played the part a little bit more. She is a ballroom dancer, so I felt like her doing the different styles, she could have at least played the character a little bit more and gone somewhere different with it, but she didn't, and I was very upset because I like her.
She's 18. I think we also have to give her a little bit of props for this because, you know, she doesn't have the maturity yet that maybe some of the other dancers that are already in their 20s have.
That's true.
Yeah,
But a lot of
she's
them
a good
are
dancer.
young, though.
Yeah.
A lot of
it's a
them are in their
learning-
teens.
Yeah,
So
this
that's
season is
not
very,
true.
very young. But
Yeah.
some of them are over 20.
Yeah.
Like her partner Cole is later 20s. You know, so
Like
it's
what,
like
21?
26.
Oh no, he's in.
Almost 26.
Heck yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and you
I
do
didn't
see
know
the
that.
difference. You see the difference there in the
Yeah.
maturity of their dance.
He
So
played the character very well. I mean, it's a nerd. I mean, I would love to play a nerd.
He got
but yeah,
into it. I
yeah,
liked
I
him.
mean, I think now that she knows that she can go somewhere with a character, hopefully next week she'll show it. So
yeah, and she's the one that really got that whole like the criticism.
Yeah.
It was constructive criticism, but
it was good. It was good criticism. So it was good for her.
Yeah. All right, let's move right on to the next one because this was Sonia. And I'll tell you, I was not inspired by Sonia's choreography last week, but I felt like this week she really stepped it up and she had two pieces.
Yeah.
And this was Will and Amelia. I got to say, they are some of my favorite couples this season.
Yes.
They were unbelievable, really well paired. And, you know, we were talking about Amelia. You look at her and you think she's got a good dancer's body, but she doesn't have a great dancer's body. But she's got this unexpected technique and this quirkiness that surprises you every single time.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. What were your
She's just,
thoughts?
she's just very, you know, like you said, she's different. So when you watch her from like the other girls on the show, she's not like that ballet-esque type feel. She's more like she's like Sonia style, to be honest, like that weird, you know, like quirky. Exactly. And, you know, she's very memorable to me because she has that short, blunt, black hair. She's pale, so pale.
And those bangs.
And yes, and it's just very memorable. You know, she's different from like the other 10 girls, you know, 9 girls. And I don't know, it's just, I really like her. She's different and I like different, you know, and so I love her.
Well, I thought the dance was good.
It was
I mean,
amazing.
you know, I'm not a dancer, but I'm a fan.
You're a
So I'm
fan.
sitting right here. And I really liked Will.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everyone roots for Amelia, of course, because she is amazing. But I was like, gosh, my comment that I wrote down, I was like, he's so strong.
Yeah.
And, you know, he surprised me because he just comes off like kind of soft, you know, in the presence.
He's like a
just
huge
like-
teddy bear.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
but
lovable.
He just danced really just strong.
Yeah, and being that tall too, you would think
Yeah.
that it would be hard for him to move, being so tall
was
that he
graceful.
couldn't. Like he's amazing. He controls his body well and his movements.
Yeah.
So
And he's
that's
another one.
hard. That's hard.
Hard when
you
you're that
know,
tall.
When you're
Yeah.
that tall.
And the atypical body dancer, he's a little soft in the tummy, and but he's got a good foundation, good
Yes.
technique, so that's
Yeah.
important. So
Oh, I loved when she kicked her leg up too. I mean, she did it a few times, but I was like, dang, it went all the way back to her ear.
Girl, all those
What
girls
is
get
that
those
called?
legs.
Teach me something, Amelia.
Teach me how to bop my.
Oh.
moving right along, we go into the tango now. Geez, you know, Nick and Amber, and Nick is the trained ballroom dancer,
Yes.
and I've struggled with Nick this entire season. And Amber, you know, I think the two of them needed some redemption from last week. Last week was really, really tough with that waltz, and I don't think it was choreographed well, so I don't necessarily think it was all their faults. But you know, we got the tango, and someone shined. Someone had a little bit of redemption this week.
She did.
Bring it home for the brown team,
did.
Amber. Right.
She did. Yeah. Last week I wasn't really impressed with either of them, and it was his style, not her style, but you know, she did a very good job with it. But this week she shined.
it up.
She looked amazing. She looked like a ballroom dancer.
Yeah.
She looked like she owned that.
That stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't watch him. Like they said in the critiques, he was there for her, he partnered her, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I could not just not watch her. You know what
I
I mean?
feel like he's disappeared in this top 20, and I think it almost makes me think, because everyone else is so strong, I'm like, how did he make it into this top 20? He must have had a fantastic Las Vegas audition, and then he just started to wilt. I mean, what are your thoughts on Nick?
I don't
Corrine?
remember him. I don't. From Vegas to present day, I'm like, I don't remember him. But then, to you guys' points, I couldn't keep my eyes off of Amber. First of all, I'm jealous of her legs and her arms. I'm like, girl,
she's buff.
let me stop eating chicken.
Fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
We can't, but they get to dance all the time. That's why they get the bodies,
Amazing. And Nick looked like Count Drac tonight. I didn't like I knew what they were going for, but I was just like, they could have did something different, to like make him a little hot.
He needs to be punched up somehow.
I mean, yeah, like honestly, they all are. The show is about diversity.
Yeah.
And if you look at the boys, there's a lot of contemporary jazz and ballet. There's a few ballet dancers on there.
2 of them.
There's Cyrus, popper, shaker, I don't know what you would call it. And then you have the stepper.
Brandon.
So those are, you have those 2 different types of other dances besides contemporary. So I think, Nick just was kind of the ballroom aspect, and they had to have something like that to make it diverse
and balance it out.
Exactly.
He represented something different.
Yeah.
So that was his genre, though, ballroom.
Ballroom, yes.
Which I thought was surprising given the waltz last week, and then we had the tango this week. And Adam just said he just sort of vanished, and he was saying he was a good partner, but I just he's been lost this whole time. I think he's just been overwhelmed, maybe.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think he's a sweet boy, but he just got lost.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. We move into the 4th dance, and it's another Sonia piece, and I was so excited to see this
Yes.
week.
It was good.
Because I was frustrated with her choreography last week. We felt like it was a little soft. We're so used to like a little bit more edgy.
Edgier,
Yeah. And it was Audrey and Matthew.
I love these
I
two.
loved it.
They're like Titanic piece last week, just like sent them to like the top of the board for me. They're just beyond amazing. He's like Ryan Gosling dance version, and she's just like this cute little thing that you just want to like grab and just like all the time. Like she's just so cute, and their ability together is beyond amazing. So to have them go from like a soft contemporary, piece last week to a very hard hitting, and it was like she's fighting, against him. That was like the kind of the feel of the piece, and I just loved it. She showed her own strength, and she's a very strong girl. Like that body is ripped.
She's rocking. I mean, that's it. It was so soft and lyrical last week. This week, it was so fierce, and and I love that they're able to adapt because Travis Wall is a very different choreographer than Sonia is.
Yes,
and that's what you want during the show. You want to show your growth, and you can do all different types of dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing that I just really, really liked, sort of the dichotomy of the 2 of them. I mean, did you think the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I love the piece. I love Sonia. I think she's amazing.
Oh, me
I mean,
too.
she's like so far out there that she's like a magical genius in my head.
Yeah.
So I just really like them. And I just noted to myself, I was like, damn, I wish I was flexible. Because Audrey was kicking and like lifting that leg like it was jelly. And I was like, damn, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
She
Her
was
legs
good.
are
It was
amazing.
good.
You know what I think we can do? Maybe you and I can like go and find a DVD on Amazon.com.
Oh.
How about that? And work on our flexibility.
So nice
Because this is the thing I know. I'm trying here, but but here's the thing. It's like we're always shopping online all of the time. And if you guys are shopping online, if you can do us a huge favor and go to AfterBuzzTV.com, you'll see the little link for Amazon.com. Click there because what it does is it helps us. We're here. We're offering you all of this fun content after each show. It's all for free. We're not charging you or anything else like that. But we're working really hard here to bring you your favorite shows and everything else. So if you can do that, that helps bring in some money here at AfterBuzz TV. Keeps the lights on, keeps us here every single week on Wednesday nights. So we would so appreciate that. And Corrine and I are going to work on our flexibility. There's got to be a DVD. Sonia may have like a DVD out of stretching, choreography.
Hook me up.
We need some help. Or maybe Ashley could teach us too.
Hook me up.
I could.
And yeah, Sonia, if you're listening or watching, can you give me that gold bra bikini top that Audrey was wearing? That was hot.
Which you can also find.
The wardrobe.
The
people.
wardrobe. Well, they can do a plug.
They can find that on Amazon.com as well.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Shop online.
There you
Support
go.
us here at AfterBuzz.
Why are you going to clown me?
All right, you two, settle down because we're going to get into dance number 5. We go back to Christopher Scott, and we've got Janelle and Darion.
Darion.
Okay, and this was to my girl,
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the song is very well known. I mean, we can probably all sing it. You know, we weren't born in that era, but we all know it. It's so cute. They sold it as best they could, but I felt the choreography was a little bit flat.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I didn't really like it. I mean, Christopher Scott is amazing, and everything that he's done on the show is just beyond words. But this one just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I love those two, Janelle, because she's a belly dancer. She's different. And it just was flat to me again, that bzzz line.
Agreed. I was bored.
I mean, the kiss at the end was very surprising.
That was the hottest thing.
It was the hottest thing.
I liked her gold shoes.
Her
Those
outfit
gold
was really
flats.
cute.
Yeah, I thought so. And I think that she's really pretty. So I didn't
She's
mind watching her. I'm
gorgeous.
like, oh, she's cute. Like,
Yeah.
she's such a
but
pretty
it's
girl.
like the face too, you know. You have
Yeah.
to play a character, and that goes
Yeah.
back to like Lindsay's number. You know, she just didn't have it.
Yeah,
You can't rely on your prettiness all the time.
true that.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to know from, you know, you being there on season 7, what was it like? I mean, when you get a dance that you don't necessarily like, you have to sell it, but is it sometimes hard to just sort of fake it?
Oh,
Good
it's
question.
it's definitely hard. I mean, I had contemporary like 3 weeks in a row.
Oh.
And they're all different concepts, you know, but the first one that I had was actually really hard because it was about someone, you know, that you love and you don't know if you would be able to see them again ever, you know. And that was hard for me because I haven't really like lost anybody that's really close to me that I can say that I like deeply love, you know, like a parent or anything like that. I haven't lost. So to go to that place was really hard for me, and I got critiqued for it.
You
so
sure did. I
it
remember
was
that.
yeah. It was tough, but you know, I did the best that I could, and I think that's all you can do is do the best that you can in any given situation with a dance that you're not as comfortable with, like Janelle probably was, you know.
And you could see it on her face, and I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. And, you know, she wasn't given all the tools, I think, choreographically that maybe she needed, and maybe some of the coaching, too, that goes on in the rehearsal room.
Exactly, yeah.
But, yeah, you do have to sell it, and that's what's important. It's because Darion did a better job of selling it,
Yes.
and but even with insipid choreography. Sorry, Christopher Scott.
Yeah.
I know.
Nigel said it was uninspiring.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
ouch.
I mean, that ring looked really nice in there.
I know. I said I want the real version.
I know. I said, I'll
was
go get
nice.
it. I mean, you can. Thanks.
You guys,
Thank you.
Amazon.com.
Uh-huh.
Just letting you know.
Perfect.
Click on the
Oh,
AfterBuzz
yeah.
link.
Amazon.com, Jared.
Jared.
Get working on that.
He's like, what have I got myself into?
All right, I know. He's happy to be here, and we are happy to talk about dance number 6. We've got Janea, which her name every week was pronounced Janea. It's Janea, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Nay.
And Nene, and Brandon, and you know. We've been talking about who are our favorites. You know, Amelia's been great. Brandon's another one that I feel like he's in it to win it.
Yes.
He's a
is
stepper.
Yes. He's a stepper, but now he is a dancer.
Yes.
He is a ballroom
Yes.
dancer. He did that
He
fantastically.
did that. He was
Yep.
wonderful.
Choreographed by Sean Cheeseman, and a great piece of music from Linda Edwards from Jekyll and Hyde. Great Frank Wildhorn musical. If anyone
Bring
has,
on the men.
Oh.
so good.
Great.
Yeah, they sold it. They were fantastic, and I really felt like Janea needed some redemption from last week. I felt she was a little bit lukewarm last week, and this, she brought it to the table.
She did. Oh my gosh, she was so cute. She played the character so well. And this was like the first time that I think someone played the character tonight.
Yeah, she brought it out.
She brought it out.
And it was an interesting juxtaposition. Oh, I love that
Yes.
word. But from the piece right before, because we had Janelle and Darion, where they didn't sell it as well. And then the two of them, you know, with Janea and Brandon, it was amazing. It was
They
just
were in
night and day.
character.
Yes.
Yeah. Choreography was much better, though, too.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, and there was that great final lift. Oh,
Oh, it was great.
It was nice. Yes.
Yeah, it was like
Clap,
Cirque
clap,
du
clap.
Soleil,
Yeah.
like you were
That's what I
saying,
said,
like
yeah.
that back thing.
I said, get a girl.
and I don't think people realize, like, if they've never danced, like
That's
how hard
hard.
that is, because you're just also sweaty, and you know,
Well,
skin
yeah.
is sticking,
Yeah.
and you're trying to slide down the body, and
Well, especially if you're not used to partnering. You
Well,
know,
look at
like
Brandon. Yeah.
yeah,
He
like, I
had
mean-
no technical training at all, and here he
Exactly.
is like flipping people. One,
yeah.
two, one,
I
two.
mean, from my
Yeah.
experience, not coming from a studio with no boys, and then coming to the show where there's like boys and you dance with them every week, and it's different, you know. So like that type of lift is real hard.
That must have been a
Especially-
real challenge for you
Yeah.
coming in every week and having to do partnering. And there's a lot of partnering. And, and a modern lift is much, much different than a ballet lift. And obviously
yeah.
ballroom is much, much different as well. So
Yeah, no, they're all different, and there's different lifts. I mean, there's one where you toss in the air. It's just a lot. There's so many, and you wouldn't think there would be a lot.
Yeah.
But there's so many.
I mean, I grew up
And-
in the ballet world, and I know that, like, I studied classical ballet, but then when you get into contemporary ballet, totally different. You can go upside down, and it's just so different than what you're learning classically.
yeah, up and down.
How do you work with your partner when you just met them and you're like, I don't really trust you? Like, how is that when they have to do something as technical as a hard lift?
Well, for me, we had all-stars.
Oh, excuse me.
So no.
Yeah.
But it's a great question because I had a different all-star each week. And I didn't get the opportunity to, like, season 9 and season 8 to have that partner that is also a contestant for a couple weeks, you know?
Okay.
So it was different for me, but I can also trust the all-stars. Like, I had Neil and Aday and Mark.
I love a day.
Fantastic.
And all three of those boys are just so strong. And, the one I did with Aday, I was being tossed and lifted and thrown everywhere. So it's like I didn't have time to think to not trust him, So, I mean, they're always there for you. And I think the contestants will always be there no matter if they haven't had, like, training or not.
Yep.
Only because it's their duty.
Yeah, and you have to trust your technique, too. You have to trust yourself because you're like, I'm strong enough. I can at least muscle my way through. It may not look pretty, but if they're falling or anything else like that.
And in this show, you can't hold back. You really can't. And, I mean, it's great because, like Will and Amelia, they're probably like the tallest people on the show. And so, I mean, if she was partnered with someone else,
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They really had to match people up really well this season because there's a lot of petite girls, like tiny. And,
Yes.
Cole is
lot.
tiny.
Yes.
And then you go to someone like Will, and he's really
Huge.
big.
6'3", you said, right?
Yeah, and that's why he
Somewhere over
works
the
so well with
Yeah.
Amelia.
Exactly.
She's taller. Moving right along, we have Eliana and Cyrus. And,
Ellie.
every time we go into Cyrus, I mean, my heart just melts. This guy has got a heart of gold.
love
He's
Cy.
trying. He is the underdog. And he wasn't in the bottom 3 tonight, so...
Thank you,
You know what?
Jesus.
People love him.
Hallelujah.
He's great. I mean, even though he has like a tough look to him,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
He's a
And
softie.
you can tell his personality. I mean, ever since he auditioned, you can tell he's a warm-hearted person.
Yeah.
And it comes off on camera.
Especially when, his 2 other, in his group, his little dance troupe, whether he was in whatever, but, they quit.
Chicks, Yeah. They
And
walked
so,
out on him.
Yep, he stayed along, and it proves a lot.
It pays off.
It does
I mean,
pay
look
off.
at him.
He's a star.
He is a star, and
He's a
we
star
had
quality.
and see, this is why I think he was featured in the opening number too. I think it was. I know you feel like you didn't feature him, but I think being featured
Yeah.
in a group number is a big deal.
It's a
honestly,
big deal.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Well, because they know they needed to place him. He just couldn't do anything else except shake.
But that's showcasing what he does best and
Yeah.
Shaking.
you got to remember the people that are voting at home though want to see him
I'm going
shake.
to go home and vote for Cy. I need to see him on the show. I like him.
Yeah.
Anything he does, I like, though. Like, I'm biased.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
He-
Well,
I
let's
mean-
get back to Melanie and Tony because they choreographed, and this was the jive. And
Yeah, I had little doubts at first. I was like, oh, this can either go 2 ways. It could actually like really surprise us, or it can be like wah wah. And you know what?
It was a mix?
It was a mix. Like for me, like he
Me
did really
too.
well. Like even though it probably didn't work for like the ballroom world, they probably were like, this is horrible. But he tried, and that's
Yeah.
all that matters. And he was just so fun to watch. And that's like the number one priority is that if you're not in your genre,
Yes.
which he will be out of his genre every
All
week,
the time.
except for if he gets hip hop, because of the fact that he's not trained in anything else, and his style is his own style. It's
Shaking.
not hip hop, you know what I mean? So like for him to get the jive and to even come this far is amazing. He's gonna learn so much.
And we got
I
some
think he
really
already has.
He really has.
Yeah.
Well, and we got some really interesting insider information on this that, people were picking what type of dance they were going to do. And he said, I let Eliana pick it, and she picked the jive. I'm not sure if that was Cyrus's strength, but, you didn't
nice.
have that during your season, did you?
No, we picked.
Out of the hat, right?
It was like out of a box. Yeah.
So what happened when you open that, get that piece of paper out of the box and you're like
it was the All-Star. We picked a card, we opened it, and it had a picture of an All-Star. And you just knew the All-Star you were dancing with.
That's right.
You didn't know what genre you were doing. But if you would think like, okay, I opened up Mark and I was like, okay, this could be like contemporary jazz, or they can throw you for a loop, because the All-Stars, they have like different things that they can do. They're not just set as a contemporary All-Star. They could be thrown in as a Bollywood All-Star. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you really don't know, but you're just like, okay, he's my All-Star. I liked him when he was on the show, so I'm like, great, you know.
just gonna have fun working with him this week and everything.
You know, and like sometimes you get, like, I mean, I was like starstruck with Ade and like Neil and like, basically everyone. But once you're in there and you like know them and you get to know them, it's just great. They're just like they're just like
buddies.
us.
Regular
Dogs.
people.
Regular people.
What's Ade like? He was one of my
Ade.
favorites on his season.
Girl, he's the most amazing.
He's so nice.
He's amazing.
He just seems so nice.
He's funny.
I voted for him all the time too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
That's awesome.
Love him.
And if you like what you're seeing here tonight, don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, rate us, comment, tell a friend. It only takes a minute. And I know that AJ's been responding to a lot of the comments. We want lots of stars if you like us, because we want to hear from you. And I know we've been commenting on YouTube and commenting on iTunes. So make sure you do that. It just takes a second, and you can always go back and listen to this podcast later on if you missed something that we talked about here tonight. All right. I know. So many fun things.
Fun.
I know, girl. I could get used to this.
Oh, get it.
She's going to be a regular AfterBuzz.
She's a buzzer.
Buzz.
All right, let's move into our last three dancers.
We are rolling.
Yeah, we are rolling, and but it's pretty interesting because we talked about this with Alexi last week, and she talked about how oftentimes they kind of know, they've watched rehearsal and they place the dances. So oftentimes some of the stronger dances start happening later on in the show, or a little bit more fun. Did that happen? Did you notice that?
Well, I mean, there was only 11 of us.
So it wasn't like
So
10.
you're like every dance was that one.
Exactly. I mean, so we had like different varieties. I mean, there was one week where Lauren and Mark had Tahitian. So, I mean, that was like the first and ever like Tahitian dance on the show.
That's
And
right.
so, I mean, it was probably like snap dab in the middle of everything, because you don't know which way that's going to go. But Lauren sure moved those hips. And
Yes, she
dang,
did.
she got it.
It's good though.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think every dance is very strong. I mean, it just all depends.
It's perception too, because we move
Yeah.
into Alexa and Daniel. This is choreographed by Dee, and this was with the bathtub, so we've got props, and yes, it is hard to work with props, and it's how well you use the props. And I think if we sort of contrast this piece to Travis Wall's last week with the sofa, the Titanic inspiration piece, that was it's really like you see the differences between the two, and you see when it really works choreographically, and you see when it doesn't necessarily. I understand what he was going for, and what they were doing was challenging, but there is no connection between Alexa and Daniel. What was going on?
I have
What
no
was going
idea.
I liked it.
I mean, I loved the number, the bathtub. It set like a different.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody dance in like an old-fashioned bathtub before, so it's new. Me personally, I hate props. They don't work for me.
No.
A lot of doors. We see a lot of doors on, so you think you can
Doors and
No, I mean, like
beds.
me specifically,
You
like
don't
me
like to dance
dancing
on
with
them.
a prop, like I get really bad anxiety.
Oh.
Because like things can go wrong, you never know which way it's gonna go. But it worked out. I mean, I think it was a beautiful number. They danced it amazingly, but like again, there was no chemistry with those two, I thought. And again, it was very blah.
Yeah, you see the disconnection between the two.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, because we heard Amber tonight talk about Nick, and she said our chemistry is like bubblegum and oil.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very honest, though, because they were struggling as a couple together. And, you see Alexa and Daniel struggling, and they both were trying, but I feel like everything that the judges complained to Alexa about during Vegas week was exactly what we're seeing here on the show.
Yeah, and and sometimes it's hard when a person is so amazing outside of like the show. You know, like I know her, you know, she's a friend, not like greatly, you know, but I've seen her, I've spoken to her, and she's this amazing person. But like on TV, I felt like she didn't read well, you know, like I felt like she had no personality. And sometimes viewers that don't know the people like are watching the show and are like, you know, compared to like other contestants, you know, she gets lost again, just like how Nick does, you know. And she's a beautiful girl, but I just feel like on camera she just doesn't.
She fades in the background.
It's just come off as like bubbly as like the other contestants. You know?
I don't get that. I like her on camera.
I
love
her.
the dance. I didn't notice the chemistry piece. I don't know if it's because I'm not like a trained dancer. I don't have that technical. I'm just a fan. Like I just like the show. But I didn't notice the lack of chemistry. I just was concentrating on like the dance and how I felt when they were dancing. And I was like, oh, when they were done, I was like, I want to boo. It made me want to boo. Boo. I need a boo. If you're out there, holla. Anyways, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't feel that. And then, like, as far as when she appears on camera, I actually like her. And I don't feel that people have to be like, you know, all the time on camera.
They
like,
don't,
that's whack.
but the audience needs.
No.
The audience needs to connect with you, and this is the thing. You have to remember who's voting.
Alexa, I connected with you.
Well,
Okay, girl.
she's done.
She is.
You won't be connecting with her anymore.
Girl, connect on Twitter. Life.
All right, we go into Tiffany and George doing the foxtrot. This was also choreographed by Melanie and Tony.
Love George.
And I Want to Be Loved by You. And this was Sinead O'Connor. Yes, you know, and George has been charming all the way from the auditions in Atlanta. Really nice lines. This was a very pleasant dance. Like, it was lovely to watch. It was enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the best foxtrot ever on the show. I mean,
this season or overall?
Overall.
Wow.
I mean, there's not really a lot of foxtrot that ever is on the show, but when it is, I think this one was the best one. And they're not ballroom dancers at all. They're both contemporary jazz dancers. Yeah. And she was like a natural at it. You know, she was beautiful to watch. She was like present. She was just glowing, and he's just so charming with that smile.
Oh, great smile.
You know, and it was just like so nice to watch. It was like they were floating on clouds, and you were like with them. You know,
I think the fact that they were so light on their feet really was nice to watch.
And that's what you have to be in the foxtrot. It's all smooth. Like
a nice bop, bop, bop. No,
I don't know.
You don't want the bop, bop, bop. You want more of a
It's a
More
bop.
like a rolling seed, but you don't want to pop body-wise.
Oh.
That's the quick step.
Oh, that's the shake. That's the shake. That's the Cyrus.
You know, something that I want to bring up in terms of ballroom and everything is that we had been talking for quite a bit over the last several weeks of what is up with Utah and ballroom. And I Googled it, and we asked viewers to call in, and no one knew.
Except Jared.
Yeah, Jared had the answer, and you know, it's a lot of the schools offer scholarships. There's a lot of support for the arts, of course, but this is sort of the genre of dance that they've embraced, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely. They really love ballroom dancing in Utah, and I think actually the reason why is probably because of BYU. They have such strong ties to ballroom, and they actually have a national ballroom competition every year, and all the schools from all the high school teams that have ballroom teams, they come in to compete for a title. And it's actually very, very cutthroat.
Oh no!
It's
I know,
so
right?
fun to watch, though. If you've ever watched a ballroom competition, it is brutal. Like 20 couples like on one dance floor doing a routine, and you have to watch out for them.
I know. I seen that movie that Vanessa Williams was in when she did that. I don't remember the name though.
Oh, I think I know.
Yeah.
Shall we dance?
Dance with
Shall we dance?
I loved it.
Strictly Ballroom is another
Right.
one. So you do see
Take the
a lot of
lead.
yep.
Take the
There's a lot of great ballroom dance movies, but I'm so glad you were able to answer that because it was like stumping us for
Jared.
weeks. So
Why are they so good? What are they doing?
yeah, and I did
The
ask.
water.
I said it was
Utah.
a casting. Like they just get people to go to Utah to
Yeah.
like try out. You know.
Well,
What do I
Utah.
know?
And the
What do
funny
I know?
And the funny thing is, hold on. The funny thing is, when you were introduced, I said, "Are you from Utah?" And you were like, "Yep." And you knew the Huffs, Julianne
And I
and
did
Derek.
ballroom.
Yeah, and you did ballroom. So there was the connection. And I'm like,
He's actually a national champion.
Oh, we have a star in the building. Get your life. Your food is fancy.
Jared, what is your specialty?
My specialty is Latin. Latin
Very
styles.
good.
Yes.
I love it. We have a specialist.
And I'm a Latina.
Oh, the connection.
I love it.
Yeah, my specialty is in Latin women too, I guess.
All right. Well, we do have one more dance to get
That
to,
was
you
cute.
guys. Hold on, Corrine. We've got Keon and Whitney
love
doing
Keon.
some Bollywood, and I thought the Bollywood was fantastic. Wow. I mean, it was just something fresh and something different. And I'm glad that they ended with this, and they really shined.
They did. She did her homework. She said that she Googled.
Yes, she did.
And
YouTube.
watched. YouTube.
YouTube. She
not
studied.
Google. She
Yes.
studied that, and it paid off. You know, I wouldn't have known she was a ballroom dancer.
Me neither.
She's just stunning though too.
She's
like
cute.
in that makeup, and like Bollywood is my favorite on the show because of the outfits that they wear and all of the little like hand gestures that you learn. I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
You know, there's the deer.
Oh,
They're deer.
Deers.
And then the lotus.
Lotus. Flower bomb.
Flower bomb.
We're learning steps here.
Flower bomb.
But you know, and it's very difficult because each like motion in Bollywood is a different hand gesture that means different things.
They're
for
different
their
stories,
culture.
aren't they?
Exactly.
What does
Like
this
there's
mean?
like a man in the hat, but I don't quite know that because I didn't have Bollywood on the show. But I did it on tour. It was so much fun. But like the jewels that you get to wear and everything. But it's also too a character, you know, and I think dressing up in that kind of like makes you feel like their culture,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just so much fun to like actually get those things over your eyebrows and like all the jewelry and stuff like that. And
You really immerse yourself.
exactly, yeah, and it's just so much fun. And there's not one boring Bollywood piece ever.
Never.
And they're so hard.
Have you ever seen the competitions that they do?
No, but I would love it.
Oh,
probably.
they're amazeballs.
Yeah.
So colorful.
They
And the
are
music's
amazing.
fantastic.
Yes.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great way to end the night. It just kind of left you feeling like really great because we know what's coming next, which is the eliminations. But,
Yeah.
you know, before we talk about eliminations and Step Up Revolution, which we heard a lot about, I say we go to a commercial. We'll be right back. Word from our sponsor.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AfterBuzz TV. And why? Because AfterBuzz TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows, like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AfterBuzz TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AfterBuzz TV goodness. Check them out, give them a holler, and tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
All right, we are back, and you know, going back through the show, you know, there was a lovely Step Up Revolution dance, also a nice promotion. Adam Shankman's the producer, Travis Wall was the choreographer,
Wall.
and lots of alumni came back. It was very fun for you because I know you had a lot of friends dancing.
It was. I
Twitch.
couldn't sit still. It was so much fun. Twitch. Oh my goodness.
I love him.
He's such a sweetheart, and when he dances, he's just like a bundle of joy to watch.
He's like a light because he just like smiles.
he literally
and it's like
lights up,
effervescent.
and it's
I
like
love it.
it's like he's never nervous.
That's
you
so
know?
awesome.
And it shows, you know. And Catherine, just beautiful as ever.
Yes.
And
Philip.
I know he's crazy with those arms. Oh my
It's
goodness!
amazing.
When he
And
hits
his
like
abs.
30, he's gonna feel it. But you know, it's crazy how people can move their body like
He's
that.
sick.
I would love to know, you know, how often are alumni used for all these projects? Because, you know, Adam Shankman, I know he used a lot of people when he choreographed the Oscars a few years back. You know, you've got Step Up Revolution. He did Rock of Ages this year.
Exactly.
I mean, are you seeing, like, are people being called in based on their participation so you think you can dance previous seasons?
Yeah, you know, I think it helps a lot being on the show, especially with Adam being, you know, like this director and whatnot. He has a lot of say in who he hires and brings on projects. But yeah, no, I think it's all about who you know.
That's life.
Yeah,
The rule
I
of
mean, with
thumb.
everything.
Yeah.
But he helps us out a lot, and it's very grateful that, you know, we get to do that. You know, sometimes he doesn't even audition people. He just calls them directly and is
that's
like,
so
hey,
nice.
come
Great.
out, you know. And I mean, I've been thankful that sometimes that happens to me too.
That's
but
what's up.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
a good reason to do the show, and I think that's why so many people keep trying. How many seasons did you try to get on? Did you get on your first try, or
I did.
you're lucky?
You're amazing.
Yeah, you know, I love the show, and my mom was always like, you have to do it, you have to do it. How come you never auditioned for it? And you have to be a certain age, and I think when it came out, I wasn't old enough to do it. And I could have done it season 6. Season 5 was the first time that I probably could have tried out, but there was so many amazing people on that season. So I was like, oh, God, I did it.
Just waited
But
your turn.
yeah, you know, but then a choreographer, Marguerite Derricks, was actually the one who told me to try
I
out.
love Marguerite Derricks.
Oh, that's
Incredible
nice.
choreographer. Did Wonderland on Broadway.
I helped with that.
You
I
did.
was, yep.
You're fancy.
So
So
no.
when fancy, huh? When the judges give you, you know, as we saw tonight, you know, after each dance, the judges give their critique.
Yes.
And so when you were in the hot seat, you know, after your performance, how were you about like receiving the type of information that they would give you? Like, you know, are you just kind of like, do you see I'm sweaty and I'm tired and I don't even have time to think about it? Or are you just
Well,
like,
actually,
shoot, I have
it's
to
just-
concentrate?
Yeah, no, it's actually just like a rush. You know, you just finished something that you learned within like 3 days, and
Yeah.
you just like performed it on national television
Live.
without messing up, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get critiqued, and you're hoping that it's like the best performance that you could have done
Right.
for yourself and for the judges to, you know, give you a great critique. You know, and every week that I was on the show, they never really had anything negative to say to me or
Yeah.
anything that I could improve on. And that was when I was in Vegas too. They never really gave me a critique.
Wow.
And I really wanted it. Like I
You're
really
seeking approval and seeking
I really
something.
wanted to know what I could have improved and what I could like shy away from or what could help me improve as a dancer. And I never got that except for, I always had contemporary. So what they would tell me was they didn't learn anything new from me.
Which has got to be frustrating
Which
because
is, it wasn't my fault that like I
Yeah.
had that my
Yeah.
3 weeks that I was on, but then after I got hip hop and I got the quick step
Yeah.
and actually the week after I had ballroom, which I was so excited to do. I had the rumba with Pasha
I love
and
Pasha.
the disco with Robert, and that was when my rib just couldn't function anymore.
Yeah, now you
So-
were on the season. We
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about this with
yeah.
Alexi last week of the fact that, there were 3 injuries, and this was the year that everyone's like, are they rehearsing too much? What's going on?
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of controversy about you leaving, like whether you were going to be allowed to come back another season or whether you were going to go on tour. What wound up happening?
I ended up going on tour.
Good.
Yeah, I could have, me and Alex both could have
That's
went
right.
back for season 8 if we wanted to. But, it was just like, that was my time, and those were my family. Like, I couldn't just be
Yeah.
like a part of season 7 and then come back and hope that I don't break a rib again for season 8, and have it be like all over again. And I just couldn't do it, like I loved everyone on my season so much that I just couldn't come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what me and Alex discussed too. We were like, you can't do that,
Like it was my time and it was time to move on.
Exactly, and everything happens for a reason. And I'm better now, and I'm dancing, and actually, I
And
dance
acting.
and acting.
get her, girl.
No. But I feel like because that happened to me, I'm a different dancer.
That's great.
I use my body differently, and if I have to partner again, I know how to protect my ribs, which is good.
It was a good life lesson.
Yes, it was.
All right,
Protect
let's
the
talk
ribs.
about the conclusion of the show because we did have our bottom 6 guys and girls. So for the guys, it was Nick, Daniel, and Keon, and then for the girls, it was Janaya, Alexa, and Whitney. And I thought Janaya was going to get saved, so I was completely wrong because it was Whitney that got saved by the judges. And then on the guy side, it was Keon, who I thought rightly so was saved this week. I thought Nick and Daniel, it was time for them to go.
Bye, guys.
Alexa was time to go, but I get what they see in Whitney, but at the same time, I thought Janaya had such a great week.
She did. She did, and she definitely shined this week also too. But all of the girls kind of did, you know. It was surprising for me to see who was in the bottom, girls and guys.
Why?
For me, I kind of thought Janaea and Nick were going to be in the bottom, only because they weren't memorable to me personally. But, you know, she stepped it up this week, and I was like, okay, now I'll remember you. And it was sad, you know, because they didn't save her, and she's just so cute, you know. And, I mean, same thing for Alexa. I thought that she was going to go so far. And because, you know, they really played her up in Vegas,
they
and
sure
a lot
did.
of people love her. She's beautiful, and she's an amazing dancer.
Yeah.
This week and last week, it was.
Yeah.
was
And
flat.
so, I mean, I was surprised with her. I was surprised with Whitney because she's so gorgeous. She's sexy. She's a ballroom dancer. You know, she kind of reminds me of Anya a lot, like when she performs. She's just so, like, captivating. And the guys, yeah, I mean, Nick and Daniel, I knew Daniel. He was also one of the not memorable ones to me. And I don't know.
Well, what do you guys
wasn't
think for
surprised
next
at all.
week? I mean, what are you thinking is going to happen? Any predictions on who's going to be in the bottom next week?
I have no idea
This is a tough
because
one.
everybody's so good on this season. You know, like past seasons, you're kind of like, oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna go.
home. Yeah.
Yep.
This one's gonna go home.
You never
But
know.
literally, I can't think of anyone that
No.
deserves to go home.
Especially if the judges are they going to continuously save two people like each week, or was it just tonight?
This week to get it started, it'll be one girl, one guy next week. But I think it's a tough season, and people are really stepping it up. So this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a fight to the bitter end.
Oh,
Yes.
it is.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, yes. So those are some pretty interesting predictions as to what's going to happen, because it's kind of like we don't know.
We don't. I mean, people this week could have had like amazing dances, and then next week it could flop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I do have a little bit of gossip before we wrap up.
Give it to us.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Oh.
All right, just a little bit of gossip that I like to bring, but you know how they've been talking a lot about National Dance Day, and Nigel's got his Dizzy Feet Foundation happening July 28th. They're doing a big benefit here in Los Angeles at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. I just found out who's hosting it. Katie Holmes.
Really?
Yes. Now, I thought maybe she would sort of back out of that, but she and Nigel are good friends. She's performed on the show. She's been a judge.
She loves dance.
She loves dance. She loves musical theater. But given everything that's been going on with Tomcat and the divorce and Surrey and everything else, she's still committed on attending. So
That's good.
I think like if anyone's going to that event, you are going to have a good time. And they've got Ailey performing. And they've got a huge, huge list of people. So if you can afford the $400 tickets, I looked them up.
I need a sponsor.
$400.
Holla, Nike.
It's amazing. But just something to look forward to that's coming up at the end of the month. So maybe we can find someone that's going and get the inside scoop, because I want to hear about that.
Alex Wong is going.
There we go. You'll have to give me.
I love Alex.
Yep, we'll have to exchange numbers with Alex and get the inside scoop on what that
Yes.
night is
Is he
all
dancing?
about.
Yeah, he was actually in Newsies on Broadway.
Oh, really? I love him. Tell him I love him.
I will.
Fantastic show. All right, you guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us here for this episode of So You Think You Can Dance. I'm Kristyn Burtt. Join us next week. You can find me at Kristyn Burtt.
What up? I'm Corrine Williams. You can find me at Just Saying. That's JUSTSAYIN08.
And of course, we want to thank our season 7 guest,
Thanks,
Ashley Galvan. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Ashley Galvan S7.
All right, you guys.
And Jared.
Jared, thanks for answering our ballroom question.
Welcome. And actually, you can find me at Jared_Morello.
Oh, holla.
Look at that. Shout out for that. And don't forget, iTunes, download us. Check us out on YouTube as well tomorrow. And comment, rate us. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.